Hi everyone. I hope you all had a good weekend and actually Halloween. I hope you enjoyed the Halloween party on last Friday and had some time to recharge after finishing the Illustrator module. The last submission was due last Friday. Sorry again, I didn't carefully check the schedule. There was the Halloween, so probably some of you already work even during the Halloween days. But anyway, I really want to thank you for all your hard work and creativity throughout the process. So Illustrator is quite challenging compared to Photoshop. It's not very straightforward, but sometimes it's also very helpful once you know and understand that techniques will help you to make some good layout design, poster design, and even some of the diagram, infographic, and mapping. So I believe the course is beneficial to your career as well. Now that we've completed the Illustrator portion, we will move into new modules for the rest of the semester. The first one is a layout design. We only have 2 weeks, originally 3 weeks, but last week I gave the time for you to focus on the Illustrator work. So we have 2 weeks for layout design. In this module, you will focus on how to organize and present your drawings clearly and professionally. And the second module is Revit 2D and 3D drawing. So I just wanna share the schedule, our syllabus that's modified one. Then I might wanna continue to explain. This is a schedule that I modified because last week originally we wanted to start with the PowerPoint, but we did the work week last week, and this week we wanna do more layout design. So there's a two part. One is a PowerPoint and the other one is a Adobe InDesign. So still the purpose is slightly different, but I do want to at least share the basic technique because it's more first kinds of the digital communication course. Then we do have around 3 weeks right after that. But we do have actually Thanksgiving week and holiday, so that I probably make two videos over 3 weeks, so including holiday, Thanksgiving holiday. So anyway, so that my plan is to share two videos 13 week and 14 weeks, although that is including Thanksgiving holiday, but at least you have 4 weeks as a total to complete that activity. So Revit is new kinds of the course or material, and instead of teaching by myself, I we have more kinds of the instructor who know better than me in terms of the Revit kinds of the teaching. So she gonna help kinds of the introduce some of the Revit work, and then I might wanna respond to you in terms of the more office hour and help with some of the questions and answers as well. So that's the our schedule. So once you submit your assignment two, then you will get those kinds of the score grading around the end of the November 7th. Then you will need to complete the InDesign and PowerPoint as a layout design wise. And that's the schedule, and you will submit the last assignment, that's the Revit, due by December 12th. So again, I know a couple of students have certain concerns with the scheduling, so and even time management. Even this digital communication throughout the online is not very easy, but I really appreciate all your kinds of hard work. So, but I still want to encourage you take a video regularly. So that's the reason I also take time to record the video and kinds of practice this digital communication course. This is my almost 10 times of the teaching, but this again, I didn't kinds of the utilize any of the previous material. This is new material that I use, so at least that's more beneficial to the kinds of new as a new kinds of students and new trends. So anyway, that's the schedule. So please let me know if you have any questions. Then I might want to introduce issue the homework 3. That's the PowerPoint and Adobe InDesign to make a layout. So let's continue. So now this is module 3. So we have the PowerPoint and using InDesign. Previously, we also didn't teach any kinds of PowerPoint and even InDesign. We taught kinds of the how to make a 2D drawing, how to trace that, and 3D modeling, and photos using the Photoshop, master planning, and even some of the perspective view. That's good, but at the same time, we kind of felt as a program-wise, students may not have chance to learn the layout design at the more kinds of the even professional level or at least student level, but still more kinds of the advanced, more kinds of the level of the presentation. So that's the reason we want to help to make more kinds of PowerPoint slides as well as your portfolio. So in this module, you will focus on developing more professional layout and more better communication with the more compositional skills throughout PowerPoint and InDesign. And we will also utilize your previous visualizations using the Photoshop and Illustrator. We have multiple kinds of graphic. I already kinds of the show how to make a better kinds of layout with the better alignment, but we will keep using that ideas and using those kinds of visual information across those kinds of different presentation format. And you will, so that learn PowerPoint layout. I don't want to say you will learn because you already know. So that what I want to help is the what is the main kinds of component in PowerPoint slides and how to use it well with a more kinds of better organization. So then we want to show what's the better clarity, hierarchy, and something like that. And throughout the InDesign, you will also learn how to compile and refine their work as a more kinds of cohesive portfolio document. So to demonstrate more visual consistency and typographic balance and more kinds of narrative structure. So we do have 2 weeks, so 1 week per each, 1 week per PowerPoint. So today I will just explain how to make a PowerPoint. Again, you already know, so the goal is to show some of the techniques and but you will just use PowerPoint to make your own version. And in design wise, I will also do lecture and lab section more. And so that you should submit two files, PowerPoint slides as a PPTX and InDesign editable file and even PDF file. So that those are just counted as a 20 points. So Illustrator and Photoshop were counted as 30 points respectively. But for the this module for power layout design and even the Revit are counted as 20 points per each. So they combined as a total will be 100. So that's the kinds of the our description. So let's do start with the PowerPoint kinds of short lecture together with some lab. PowerPoint is widely used so that anyone, like landscape urban planning students, use the PowerPoint for their final presentation. But even in the different field, they also use the PowerPoint a lot. So at least I do want to let you know how to use more kinds of PowerPoint at the professional level. So small tip wise, one rule is not do not use any kinds of regular template because nowadays if you go to Canva or even PowerPoint, there are various kinds of the template styles that you could use, but I do want you to use your own customized version because at least you have the design skills, then you have the ability to make your own version. So that's the reason I do want to let you know how to make it. And another reason is that sometimes those kinds of template that you picked is not harmonized with your kinds of the drawing. So that anyway, I do want you to make your own version. That's what I do want to suggest. And please keep each slide focused on just one topic. If you gonna make some of the portfolio with a limited kinds of number of the pages, in such case, given the pages, you should make a certain composition. But PowerPoint slides, there's no reason that you need to limit those kinds of number of the slides. So that although you are not gonna talk a lot on certain page, I do want you to start with the each page with the each kinds of focus, so that you also don't want to overburden your slides with heavy text. So text should be very straightforward, and you also regard text or typography as a graphic, not just information. So double kinds of the role. So text is you to use to provide the information as well as to show the graphic consistency. And you should also establish a visual hierarchy on your slides, especially font design. So font size, your title should be bigger than description. Of course, subtitle as well. So I saw a couple of times your title is smaller than even subtitle. Some of the legend is larger than some of the description. The main reason, although you know the whole kinds of ideas, the reason is that you made certain graphic throughout the Photoshop, Illustrator, and then you might want to type in certain text throughout the PowerPoint. So those kinds of styles are all mixed. Then suddenly some kinds of hierarchy was broken. So I do want to recommend to always check carefully with the font size and even font style as well. At least you should not use multiple font styles in one kinds of the slide and over your slides as well. And you should also select your color theme, and I do let you know how to make it, but don't pick too much. At least you might want to say less than five, so two or three might be good number, and you might want to organize it alignment of text and images. So even when we did Illustrator, we added the ruler and guidelines to make a right kinds of the alignment. So like that, we should do. But in the PowerPoint, I saw a couple of students just randomly to arrange those kinds of the full text and images. And you should highlight that important information should be always bigger and bold and more kinds of standing out as a text-wise or color-wise. And you should also set some of the stories into your kinds of the each page and use a full of page if needed. You can also utilize some frame, but still already these kinds of PowerPoint presentation, wherever you do, even in the my PC or some of the screen as a more kinds of classroom, that's the rectangle, which means already we have that framework. But if you add another kinds of box or certain frame, that makes a little bit challenging to kinds of focus on your main item. So that my suggestion is to always to utilize a bigger, large kinds of full screen, not to locate your images corner or something. So let's see a couple of the example. I don't kinds of add any kinds of student name, but what I want to tell you is that some of graphics are already done very well, but I do want to explain why it needs to be improved and how. So I said this is X mark, but still this is good. So as you can see, hierarchy wise, we have kinds of large font for title, but still the size of the description, subtitle, and contents is a little bit competing, right? Font is pretty close enough, and design elements they highlight with the some of the key map. But if we want to know some of the item, we want to show where it is. So you should show the more kinds of key map where it is. And the other one, you show sometimes you show some of the design item, but uh, you and myself, we don't want to just read those kinds of text. The best is always connect to the image where it is and how it is readable. So my suggestion, still another framework I use as a background color is similar to the watercolor. That's the somehow I feel that's the dominant color. So that's the frame so that we could see inside of the image. But what I did is to connect with each point of the content into more kinds of the indicating line. So just fix a little bit, not the full, but at least my point is if when you want to explain certain images with the certain contents, those kinds of the image and text should be located in the same way to make it more kinds of the easily follow. The second one, at least for here, anyway, we need to change this circle, not the ellipse. Once we have the circle, then it should be circle, and size should be also thickness need to be adjusted, which means more kinds of better one with this one. Although color is not perfect, but still what I want to tell you is circle and same size of the circle so that we need to highlight where it is located. And the other one, this is one of the master plan. Of course, there's a lot of kinds of the scale bar and north direction that's always needed. But the most importantly, this is pretty nice graphic, as you can see. It's well developed, but if you see the kinds of the layout, we have a certain template upstairs, but there are quite kinds of the empty place. We don't want to see that kinds of empty place that much, so that the best is always to full screen. So this is what I small tip, but still it is important tip for students to improve their presentation. And even sometimes you might want to add some text or some of the using the template. As I said, I not preferred kinds of the use any kinds of the template version, but there are automatically kinds of design, kinds of suggested kinds of icon the one like this kinds of the form, irregular kinds of curved form is somehow relevant to the form of the plan, then why not? You could make it by yourself or you can utilize some of the suggested one. But as I said, if you use a very grid style for here, that may not be, that's very simple one, but some point if you want to do more kinds of designed one, then this form is more better instead of the angular form or something new. And as a case study, I also saw some of the you. This is an example. The site has curved linear form, but the template layout the student used is like this angular one. That's not matched, although they utilize a color code from the this template, but image-wise, our kinds of reddish kinds of line is the dominant one as a background is more green, then we should highlight that color code so that the best is you might want to highlight with the always still the full size. Don't be kinds of the afraid to use full size instead of using this template with the several kinds of the empty place. It's always welcomed to show the full page with the clear message. And even you can utilize some of the different kinds of the bar background with the text. And another one, sometimes we set some of the our kinds of the subtopic mapping or master plan rendering, but when you see actual kinds of the presentation or report kinds of document, we are not calling the title as the master plan or something. We already know what it is. In such case, you might want to add the title of the site that is more kinds of those welcome. And as I said, there are so many kinds of the empty place. The bird's eye view rendering is so nice, but the title of the text is super bigger. Still, it's fine. But the key is you should show the master plan or bird's eye view as a full, and technically you might want to locate the text like that. And same, we know the master plan, but you should not kinds of capture, even when you do the screen or scanned version of the your hand sketch, it should be more bigger. Of course, you should set the right resolution. But the other one, like this has several kinds of the one kinds of line. There's another middle and another image, but no reason to kinds of divisive like that if those images are as a one category to support the graphic, then still the background of the section codes should be bigger, and then those should be at the same hierarchy, locate the same areas, same style. So that's one of my suggestion. Same. Now you could understand why I mentioned this one as a need to be improved. It should be more bigger and always show the some of the background together with the scale bar and north direction. And I know this is really nice kinds of the collage graphic. As you can see, it's already developed and title-wise and within the image, they put some of the text. As you know, I ask you to make a certain kinds of proportion, landscape size 11 by 17. You can directly use that one to fit over to here, but still you need to adjust, even though this is a final kinds of rendering that you develop as a proportion wise. But when you do the presentation, you don't necessarily to use directly with that kinds of proportion and size. This is still good, but as I said, there are empty kinds of the white background. Why not make it full? So this is a really nice kinds of the graphic so that you could do something like this style. So now I do want to explain a little bit about the our kinds of the work and then let's do continue. Hi everyone. Uh, Originally, I wanted to make all the videos before leaving for my conference visit, but somehow I couldn't. So because of the several dues and any other issues. So anyway, I'm in the Washington, D.C. now. So in the conference until this Wednesday. But still, my plan is to upload this video tomorrow on Monday. So let me quickly to complete these kinds of PowerPoint kinds of lab section. So I do want to directly go share my screen and let's do. So in the PowerPoint slides, mm, smaller without my screen should be fine. So I just gonna share this information with the more kinds of the program course kinds of the information together. In the page, I want you to make a first cover page and content page. That should include those information, but you need to just highlight the only the first kinds of the text. So anyway, I do want to delete those later, but as an information wise, you might want to make a first cover page and content page, what type of the information will come. So introduction is your self kinds of collage graphic with the images with certain kinds of text. I probably might want you to say about what would be you expect to it's already you showed some of the process of the learning, but uh learn from this digital communication course. And if there is any kinds of information you might wanna share with me, so then you might wanna add some of the introduction as well. Then you should show the site location map and site background. But this is something new because we might need a little bit information using the website. So I might want to share that one throughout the email and site analysis, infographic, mapping, master plan, site analysis. Those are all, oh, last one is collage graphics, sorry. So those are the contents that we already developed throughout the Photoshop and Illustrator. I don't want you to redesign anything right now, but if you want, please do. But basically, these kinds of the what's the one, this PowerPoint slides, what I want to expect from you is to kinds of the organize everything in one package. After that, you might want to make a just final page. Whatever would be good, you might want to make your kinds of thank you note or with your email. Just imagine this is a part of your kinds of presentation. Although we don't have any kinds of official student presentation for this course, but imagine this is something that you're gonna do as a presentation. So that's the goal to make this page. So let's do start. I just put all my information here. Introduction to collage graphic. So those are I just located mine. But let's do start from the first page. I just wanna keep this item, but let me do delete this part. But I should have, oops, why? Yeah, this one. So you should add your name. You still could redesign or use different font or different style would be totally fine. It's totally up to you. But at least the first page, I want you to show this kinds of information. So what you have to use is this Sasaki. You already know this website. You can easily Google it as well. But basically, this is a one that we're gonna use. So as a first, you might wanna add the title, Congress Avenue Urban Design Initiative. But as a title wise, I do want you to include that. So digital communication practice. Probably this is what I'm considering as a title. So you can use any title like a font, but let me show some of the example. Like you could do just regular or original font so that you could make sometimes just you can use without anything, but in such case, you might want to make some kinds of hierarchy. This is a main title and this is a subtitle. Then still, I do want you to make a size bigger and and let's see what's those. If you can see, we could use this red color as a dominant one. Then you might want to copy and paste somewhere. The reason that I did this one is to select the color. So which means I do want to select this part. But here, select the font color. But instead of the finding using the original existing one, if you go to eyedropper tool, then now I could select the color reddish one that I use. So this is one way. you could make this kinds of style, or you could also go to for color-wise same, the color that you use. And here you might want to use white color or depending on your some of the style. Red one you can still use it, but more color-wise, you can make it I could change color from there. Yeah, you could make a certain color code as well. So this can be still black and this part, then alignment is important. So try to make alignment using this one. So I do need to slightly move. So that's the way you can make her as a first page. If you want to do use this now, another style is you can, I do just want to show some another example. If you have a certain image as a background, like, what could it be? This could be background. I do want to locate as a back, but text is a little bit too much. So in such case, I do want to delete the subtitle and let's go with the only this title. Then I do want to make it 200. It's too big, sorry. 150, still big. 120, yeah, at least that works. So font should be full digital communication practice. And text-wise, let's do all capital digital communication practice. Font-wise, still we could use, or yeah, let's use, but let's do 101. Let me do full size if that works. Still needed to reduce a little bit. So still, I just want to show some example. We did some of the merge of the image clipping mask. We want to do, I honestly speaking, I face a couple of kinds of the fail kinds of cases. Sometimes it works, sometimes it not. But I found the reason when you do the clipping mask, the selection order is very important. Let me show you. If you select, you should select the image first and then select the text. So those two, holding shift, then you could select both. Then you could get the shape format. Now you need to click here and intersect. Then see, the image will be located within that kinds of text. That's kinds of the way that we could make a certain nice kinds of graphic. But if you, let me show you, if you select text and image, if I did, it didn't work. So that's why I was wondering why sometimes it works and sometimes it's not. But you should select the image first and then select the text. Then you could go to shape format, then you could make an intersect. Whatever would be good. So please do make your title page. And sometimes you might want to do some of the .font.com if you remember what it is, right? So you should search. That's what we did before .font.com. And you can make some of the good kinds of those style, calligraphy style. Let me just download. This is MUTIH. Let's download, install this one. Was the MUTH again. But whenever you do, you should save your file and reopen because initialization is not working. So which means I do want to save. Oh, should be teaching. Want to save it to here. PowerPoint assignment. Save, then I should close it. Then I should go to again my class teaching again. You should click the open new file and let me now show you. We did this version. Let me do copy and paste one more time. And I do want to locate this into as a background, send it back. And this time I do want to find it should start from MNU, right? Let's go to MNU. I believe that's the one. Oh, is that? No. MU here. Oh, modern. Oh, it's not right. Oh, here I have. So, oh, it's the not that one, right? M new. In any way, you could find once you close and reopen. Oh, you is that the one? No. Uh, yeah. So anyway, please check. It should be shown up, but once you have that kinds of font style, again, select image and text, then you could do shape folder and intersect. So image is not, yeah, perfect, but sometimes, again, you might want to reduce, and I do want to make it as a 120. So if that is some of your background kinds of the style, so locate like that. So again, select image and text, then make a intersect. So somehow you could make some of the graphic style. So again, this is not perfect, but still you could make your own version. Or sometimes it's good if you just go to format background. There is pattern fill. So sometimes there's some nice simple pattern, but simple one actually works very well. So oops, I do want to make it this one as a more gray color. So again, test some of the ideas, pattern field again. There are certain patterns that you could, I don't want to, yeah, test them much. But anyway, please make your preferred kinds of first cover page, but it's totally up to you, whatever style you use. Then after making certain style, then what I honestly speaking, I don't use this style that much. If this is a background image, I just directly put it into on top of on my image. Then I do adjust. The background is not very perfect, but sometimes I do adjust that as a more kinds of the color wise. Uh, Variation, color option. Let me recolor. So, so sometimes I just directly use this style and or just all white. And again, what I did, color code wise, that can be a little bit lighter one. So if that is all your kinds of the cover page, now what I'm gonna do based on this is to make a second one is a content page. Just I wanted to explain how to make, but I personally I'm not very big fan of this style. Sometimes I use, but I don't use that style too much. Just use the regular one. But if that is on my first page, second one, probably I do want to copy this content here. And what was the font style? That's the one. Then here I do go to, oops, this, copy that font. This font, make a 30. Okay. Again, I do want to make a eye color. Don't need this info. Your digital communication course anyway. So those are content page, content information. So, but somehow I do want to give a little bit differently. This one, copy and paste. This is content. So this is the first page. If I do want to use this as a second page, then, oh, why it's not working very well? Yeah, so here, so two-way, given this style one is, I do typically add some shape here, add certain boundary as a black, to want to paste on top. Anyway, I do want to add, and even this one, you could add a certain transparent so that the background is shown up. So I do want to delete the boundary. Yeah, so add this style, or if I do use just directly with the background, then because it's repeated, but first page, cover page, if we see the whole screen, let's do. So this is first and second. Then what I do is the background is giving her some of the artistic effects as a bloody style. And in such case, I don't need this one. And just locate some graphically. It could be there or somehow. Let me show you. So first cover page, see? So background is like a bloody, so that somehow our text is more kinds of the visible, this style. Once those follow based on the style, then I do sometimes use, this is not full size in reality, is it? I didn't carefully check. Sorry. Yeah, so given this tire, whatever still could be fine, but sometimes you could use some template like on top of the areas by crop. So this corner, you could make a certain title like each one, introduction to the each item. So that's one way that you could do, but it's not required. But at least once you have all those items without the bulletin style. So just want to show as an example the first, second, and like an introduction part you might want to start. So again, it's not required. You could do directly with your kinds of image or without that would be fine. But if you want to do, make it or still you could use certain style or don't use whole actually. If you feel this part is not needed based on your image, like that would be fine. And even you could do not only from here, insert, let me add the box instead of doing the more Photoshop work, adding the image a little bit carefully and outline is nothing, no outline, shape fill, click eyedropping, then you could make a same color, right? So even that might be go this direction. So here you could also add some of your name. I don't know, you could use your preferred style, uh, my name, although the image is not me. And you might want to add some kinds of the text as well. So as I said, you could add why you take this course and what kinds of the currently you are learning, or some of the text would be added. So I might want to read your kinds of the message why you are taking this and when you are currently kinds of struggling or what is excited throughout this kinds of course. I do want to help to improve your digital communication, but still I don't know what type of what's your current status and what you are satisfied or not. So anyway, I'm happy to kinds of read your introduction part. So please, whatever would be good, but please fill in this page. Then this is an introduction. Then from then, the next page is pretty straightforward. Right? So given this one, this is, you might want to adjust. And this is a site. What was that? Site location. And right after that, we plan to make a site background. So this need some of your kinds of the work with the certain text. I want you to do more kinds of, I want to give more freedom because otherwise I saw you just follow my style. So please do utilize this space. There are certain texts and even the logo for the company. So if you prefer show highlight company information, add that one, and even you can copy. We already utilize some of the text, but you might want to utilize that information a little bit more. So again, I don't want to kind of decide what type of the info is needed, you could decide again. So, or you might want to utilize some of the images. But when you do arrange, please always make a don't kinds of make this style. Once that image and if I do show the line, a line is completed these areas, it should be the same alignment. Please do like that. And even there should be something more you could copy, but what you should not do is, I want to show some example. Even you could do make a same gap and same alignment, but don't do crop like that. Don't distort any kinds of image. If needed, this can be crop, right? Then you could move. Again, this could be also double click, crop, you could crop. So this is allowed, but don't distort that I showed before. So then copy and paste. This is a site analysis, right? Then what was this? This is a infographic. Is that right? Infographic. But image is not full. That sometimes it happen text-wise if I don't want to highlight on top part, but still we still need this text. But see, if I reduce, at least city population needs show up, but given this full size land use category is not shown up in the on the bottom part, or in such case, not perfect way. Sometimes you might want to make it, but at least this information should be shown up. But you could go back to the Photoshop, or as I did before, still it's not perfect, but you could make this spot without the outline. no outline, but fill color because this is based on the image. That does not make it perfect, but still this is better than before without that, right? It's not perfect yet, but still, I mean, it works because it should be moved up, right? Top. Okay. So you don't necessarily to call because the presentation style wise, we cannot see on top. But if you want, you could make it like that. And the other one as well. I will not kind of the repeat, but you might want to make that style. And I do want to explain the last one. Uh, so again, the final page you could do something like that. And I don't know. Typically, I'm do thank you and please, yeah, reach out to me, but with my email address. But that's what when you do your presentation, of course. But why not? Just make some different art. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that should be fine. I don't explain any of the animation style, it's still up to you. You could make it or not. But still, this simple version would be fine if you do go back to the form background pattern fill. What was that? This is a one or and color wise, this color again. You could thank you. And if there is any message that you want to mention, that would work as well. So anyway, yeah, please do make this style based on the first cover page. So what you have to do is cover page. That's one you should make. And introduction part, you already have the image, but you might want to adjust the size because we did that as a letter size, but you should do something more this style. And even this one, color-wise, if that is not your preferred one, uh, yeah, in the Photoshop it's more easier, not here. But still color-wise, more set trans picture color. No, it's too much. So anyway, you should make some text. That's the one you have to do. Add some text. Why you are taking this one? What's the your original expectation? And just tell me how much you improve and you are enjoying this course or not. So please do. And side background is also needed. That's what I showed, like a simple version would be fine, but I want to see the layout that you're gonna do. And of course, the font should be a little bit should be consistent. Title should be fine, but at least those text-wise, please do more kinds of the consistently and make a final page. Because I do just show the very simple example, but I want you to make your kinds of creativity and your ideas to make a first cover page, not just mimicking my style. So please do think a little bit, make it better. I hope and I believe you could make it better than me and spend a little bit time introduction and of course content page as well. And final page as well. I just say thank you, but you could do something more. I still don't know what could it be. But please put your more kinds of creativity on top of that one because the PowerPoint slides you already know and most of the items are you could just put it in. Just you can spend a little bit time for first page content and some text and side background and final page. So that's the my kinds of the lab section for Photoshop. So now PowerPoint. So please do enjoy the rest of the this week and see you next week.